All right. What's going on? What's going on, party people? Oh man, the prize is the eggnog. I can do this bad boy, right? What's up? What's up, party people? All right. Come on now. Years. Man, it's been a long journey. I'm telling you. 3 years. All right, Angela. What's going on, Caprinas? Yeah. Q'll probably slide on up in here. My man Q been hanging out with the family down there in Florida, doing what he got to do. So he's been just having himself some fun. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh, yeah. Long time coming. It's about just keep pushing. Don't give up. Everything else will fall in line. Yeah, Fritter Friday is all about just having yourself some fun, eating some dessert. You know, y'all click that like button so we can get folk rolling on up in here and everything. Feel free to ask your questions about this business and everything. And we just gonna kick back and enjoy ourselves. Ms. G, she's downstairs chilling, relaxing and everything. She's had a long 2 weeks. The last couple of weeks have been tough. You know, she's been out there doing her thing, so she's downstairs chilling. So she has taken a much deserved break and everything, and all that. And then tomorrow, my son, he coaches gymnastics. He's going out of town for a meet, so I don't have to get up early in the morning to take him to work, which I don't have a problem with, but I forgot that he was going out of town. So that means what? We can be here all night because I ain't got to get up early in the morning. Oh yeah. So I'm pumped. I mean, I'm serious. Oh, happy birthday. Well, it's been 3 years, LaShonda, that I've been doing this business full time. And I tell you, I've seen and learned a whole lot during this here time. So, and thank you very much, Angela. I don't know why Angela don't be catching these lies and everything, but she finally caught one. And then Takesha, I hope I always mess that up. Hope I'm saying that right. She's up there in Richmond, one of the best Ron notaries around. So if you ever have any Ron questions, feel free to, ask her. And we and her probably have to get on here and do some Ron stuff for y'all. We did it for the members a while back. So she had she dropped some serious knowledge. Thank you there, Demetria. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much, Katrina. Thank you very much. I'm gonna tell y'all, put in the chat how many years y'all been in the business. All right. If I know Keisha, I know she's been in for a minute, but if you've been in a year, 2 years, all of that, put that in the chat. Put that in the chat and stuff. So overall, I've been doing the business for 5, but full time, if you've been doing it full time, let's do that. If you've been doing it full time, put how many years you've been doing it full time. And thanks for the super chat, my man. Greatly appreciate it. All right. Well, 2+ years. I know Caprenda's not doing it full time, but he's doing it part time. But he's been rolling for 2 years, and he's doing a great job. He's doing a really, really good job. So, my man Oswald, 2024 will be 5th year full time. All right. Look at him, old head up in here. Look at him. Yeah. So he's seen a lot and done a lot with the business. So that is great. Yeah. 5 years, April 2024. Remember that and stuff. So, this is also decision time for me. 3 years is a decision time for me because I'll be honest, and my wife can attest, outside of the military, there ain't too many jobs I spent more than 3 years at. Within 3 years, I was moving on to somewhere else. And 3 years trying to do full time, no problem. That's what I'm talking about. Angela rolling 2 years full time. Me and her be working together a lot, keeping her going forward in this business. And she's coming along really, really, really well. So appreciate her also being a member of the channel. And then be 1 year next Thursday. All right. Shoot, I wish I had known. I could have held off and we could have celebrated that together. My man, math in 6 years, not full time, but everything else does make it full time. Yeah, it does. So, for me, this is decision time because normally in my W-2 life, I was leaving jobs at just before 3 years or right at the 3 year point. And I tell you, I had some decisions to make and, so the cool thing is I don't have that decision to make because I made it a while back that I'm going to keep going with this business. And I love it. Demetrius, she said 3 years coming up next month. Okay. She's been rolling 3 years full time. Congratulations. Thank you there, Rosalind. Appreciate it. And y'all, and I really want y'all to interact with me tonight and tell me, how you think, because I'm gonna just say some stuff tonight, and y'all know how I do. I be preaching this stuff to myself when I'm driving. Then I get here, and then I try to recall the same way I said it in the car, but a lot of times I don't. But a couple of things I do remember saying, during the day, I was thinking about this and really throughout the week, was that, I was reflecting on a lot of people would ask me about how do you go full time in the business? And to go full time in this business, it starts with you coming up with a plan. Okay. And that might seem, like they say, I forget, simple and all of that, but sometimes it's not, because if you never really been a person to plan, you never thought too much. I just go get a job, or I get a second job, or I quit this job and go to another job, but there was really no plan behind it except who paying me the most. When you start talking about going full time in this business, that's a whole different beast, because you really got to plan and look at how you're going to pull in the money for what you are about to give up. And one of the things that I think, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, and it may be a correction, for us, I'm wrong if this what I'm about to say pertains to you. But over the last 3 years, and I've been talking to different notaries and stuff, and just what I'm seeing, the people who struggle going full time are those who are not willing to let go of that full-time job. They want to go full-time, but they're still holding on to that full-time job. That can slow them up. But also what can slow them up is that they're looking for their notary business. They're looking for, it to be like a full-time job. They're looking for a paycheck. The mentality, the mindset is, they're still married to the job atmosphere and the lack of sacrifice that you have to make your job work, because all you got to do is get up and show up and just do whatever work they tell you to do. You don't have that when it comes to your job. You really don't. I mean, when it comes to your business, because when it comes to the business, it's like you got to make some sacrifices. And like they'll say, hey, how many people want to work extra overtime? I ain't working no overtime. You can say that. You like, I ain't working no overtime. And for those of you who may be forced to work overtime, guess what? Give me a piece of my cake here. You don't really do no work when you're doing overtime. You're just sitting there chilling, whatever. And you'll get the money, but there's no real commitment. There's no real sacrifice that you really have to make, because it's all on the boss, it's on the owner of the company, those who founded it. But when you founded this, when you're working this, you really know you got to go out here and make a sacrifice. And what I've seen is a lot of people are struggling with this business because they're still trying to hold on to that W-2 mindset, that W-2 way of doing things and executing stuff. They don't understand the business. They don't understand what the business, as my wife always says, smell like and look like and how it functions. And you get stuck in trying to reminisce and hold on to that old way of life, that W-2, when you're trying to be a business owner. Now, those who I've seen been very successful, they've let that mindset go. They've let the W-2 go. They don't do anything. It's not even a thought. They're like, I'm all in. And that's what I had to do. My first 6 months, I was still thinking a little bit about the W-2 world. After about 6 months, I was like, you know what? Before I knew, I was just like, I don't even think about this job anymore. And I'm just all into doing this. And once I figured out who I am and the sacrifice that I'm willing to make for the business, and saw that the sacrifice that I was making and will make is going to be beneficial to me, then I was like, I have no choice but to go for it. And that's one of the things that I've seen with trying to be full-time, is that people struggle with that, or they may have let the job go, but they got too many other businesses, and trying to do too much too fast can really hurt you. It can cause you to actually, really just stifle one business or the other. So that's why I had to take a smaller approach a more simple approach as to what things that I'm doing. Even within the notary realm, there's so much we can do with the notary realm. You can't do it all. And what I've seen is people trying to do too much and they don't have a plan. Now, the other thing that has always helped me with being able to be successful with the notary business is my goals. Those of you who set goals, whether it's a monthly goal, a quarterly goal, I'm telling you, that helps. Now, of course, we know most people in the business is setting goals based off of what they're getting for each piece of work they do. They want this dollar amount. And the thing is, when the work is fluctuating, it's here, then it's not here, sometimes it can be a little hard to hit those individual, like each order gives me $100 or $150. What I found that works for me is that if I stick with what do I want to bring in for that month. And to be honest, I actually believe that when you set a dollar amount goal for the notary business, meaning 5,000, 10,000 or whatever, it can interfere with your individual goal of what you want to get per signing. And the reason why I say that is because, the reason why I say that is because if you're trying to get $150 per signing and you don't really have that many signings, how do you get to $5,000? But if you say, well, my goal is to get to 5,000, and a logical person will say, I don't see a whole bunch of 150s, but I see a bunch of 125s, 85s. And if I do enough of those, it'll get me to 5,000. It changes the way you approach the business and what orders you will take and do. But if you're like, well, no, I'm stuck to the 150, you'll see other orders come in, but you'll bypass them each and every time and say, well, no, I'm not messing with that because it's not matching my goal. My goal is 150, not the 5,000. When you see the 5,000 and you quickly realize that there's not enough 150s, guess what you'll do? You will be like, okay, let me do what I got to do what? Hit the 5,000. That's where it's at. Thank you, babe. And because of this young lady right here, that's why I have the goals that I have. I could easily, and as y'all saw in the video that I did, I think last week, I've done 150, I've done 200, I've done 300, but it only netted me this current year, 17,000. So to be successful, you got to really have good goals. You got to have goals that are measurable. Now, a smaller goal that I have, so my big goal is really like $8,000 a month. So $8,000 a month, that's my big goal for everything that I do, okay? But my smaller notary goal is at least 18 signings a week. Now, everybody, you hear online, they talk about doing 15. So 15 closings a week times 150, gives you, $9,000 a month. Great. Okay, that's cool. But if I can do 18 signings, because one of the things that I've learned in this business, you got to have some endurance. And when your body and your mindset is just used to doing 4 or 5, okay, cool. And yes, let's just say you get 4 or 5, that's 150 each. Okay, cool. But then when the market shifts, and now you got to increase the amount you do to make the same money because the fees might be a little bit lower. Some people, they're not ready to make that shift. Their bodies and their mindset is not willing to go out there and do from 5 to 12 signings a week. Now you got to get up and get ready. Printer wise, supply wise, you're not ready. So I like to stay at about 18 signings a week. That's my goal. My goal 18. This week, I think I did 15. So far this month, I've done 27. And that's what part of my goal is. And that gets me close to my 70 signings a month. So that's another smaller goal that I have in order to keep me moving forward, because it's easy to just say, okay, I did 5 signings, irregardless of the dollar amount, and I'm cool and I'm gonna just sit back and chill. But when I say, well, no, I'm gonna try to get 18. I'm gonna do 18 in 5 days. Well, you're talking about what? About 6, 5, 3 to 6. I'm like, okay, can I do that? And so far, that's what's been happening. So there's been days where I've been doing 4. There's days I've done 2, but it comes out to my 18 a week. And when I'm doing that, that actually ends up giving me the money that I want. And I'm pleased with that. So for me, and again, I think if you're trying to do this full time, you're going to have to sit back and make some realistic goals. You're going to have to make some definitive sacrifices. And you got to come to a complete and full understanding of what it takes to be successful in any business, but especially the notary business in your market. So if you're in Texas, if you're in California, if you're in Florida, wherever, you got to sort of understand your market. And then you got to be willing to step outside of the norm in your marketing. Because right now we know a lot of notaries are basically darn near 90% of the notaries are using the same tactics and techniques to market. But sometimes where you're missing it at is, got to get that eggnog now. You're missing it sometimes when you're right there in front of somebody. You're not prepared to talk about your business and to show them how you can benefit them. So one of the things I've been seeing more lately is people don't care about my elevator pitch. I mean, it's like this, this pre-designed elevator speech and all that. What they want to know is how can what I do benefit them? And I guess you could say it could be a part of your elevator pitch. But one of the things, and thank you very much there, lady, you know your name. I can't be saying, I don't know. I'd be messing that up. Lady K. But like recently I had a guy, I'm sitting there doing a closing, and it was interesting the way the subject came up. Now, when I'm in a closing, and especially when there's a realtor there or a loan officer, I'm always looking for an opportunity to market myself. I do better at talking with people, marketing, than trying to put together a flyer. Because I like to hear what's going on with them and hear where they have a deficiency at in their business and what they think needs to be done to move their business to the next level. Because we're providing service. And thank y'all for hitting the like button. As you come in, hit the like button. The likes are free, like down there. So while we're sitting there going through the signing, the wife, the lady, there was a couple, the wives made a comment about the documents, I guess about how many it was, and her and her realtor started talking about, man, it'll be nice if we can do this online. Well, that was my inroad. As soon as they said that, I paused and waited a second, and then I said, oh, we can do this online, but I said it takes a couple of entities to agree to accept an electronic signature as well as an electronically notarized document. I said you need your state, the courthouse that just will accept it. You need the lender and you need the title company. I said if any one of those three entities says no, then you're not going to do it. But but for Virginia, if the property is here, Virginia's already approved, online notarization and accepting of that, the notarization part as well as the signatures from the signers. I said now it's just a matter of whether the title and the lender will accept it. And if them two are on the same page as the state and they'll accept it, then we can do it. And the guy was like, wow. And then I explained some other things. So now me and him are trying to coordinate how I can come there and show them how it's done. Now, for those of you who are doing wrong, here's a piece of advice for you. If you come across somebody who's interested, tell them you'll do a demo. Get your stuff together and do a demo for them at their office and get you a document. Doesn't matter what, you can create your own document and actually show them the process. So if you, like I use Doc Verify. So when I do my demos, it's going to be on Doc Verify and the persons are going to actually go through the whole ID verification process and their teammates are going to see what it looks like. Now, the reason why I do that is so that they will know what their what the signers are going to have to do, and they can also advocate for me to encourage them to make sure that they have proper ID, unexpired. Okay, especially when you're dealing with a military person, because a lot of military people let their ID expire, or especially if their state won't allow them to update the ID except in person, and they're deployed. They're not going from Virginia back to Wisconsin to do that. Heck, they might not even want to go to Wisconsin. They just want to get out of there, but they don't feel like trying to get a Virginia license, because if they get a Virginia license, then guess what? Now they got to pay Virginia taxes. So I meet with them. I show them everything. Excuse me. I lay it all out. And that way they can have a clearer understanding as to, oh, this is how online stuff works. And now they know how simple it is. And I show them what it looks like on my side. They see what it looks like on their side. And now their mindset is better prepared as to how. And then I showed them how we need the documents, how the documents can be, so they can say, oh, okay. And I said, well, if, like we need more space, so we can put our signature in there, we can put the stamp in there, all of those little things. That's what I show them. That's why I like engaging with the potential long-term client. I'm not great and I know it at putting together flyers, and I know I can use AI to do all of that. And I do some to get the interest, but my ability, but where it comes in at is my ability to really talk to them and to hear what is going on. And if you're full time in the business, you're going to have to get brave to the point where you can actually have a conversation with people and not just say, go to my website and click it. When you're dealing with the big players. Now, remember last week I played the video where it said you need a sponsor, a mentor, and a coach. And the sponsor does what? Represents you or speaks on your behalf in rooms that you won't get in. Well, this realtor, he has his own team. He's going to be able to speak on my behalf to get me into a room that I don't have access to. And if I do get access, it's going to be on his coattail. So that means what? I have to be able to communicate to him. I got to be able to show him the benefit in a educated, concise way so that what? He can share that information with his team or those who are in power over him, and then he can convince them that this is a guy that we need to bring in here and listen to. But if you're not willing to talk to the person who's right there in front of you, they may get offended by that because they're actually the gatekeeper. And see, one of the problems that I had in the beginning, I didn't want to talk to the gatekeeper. So now I've learned over the last 5 years total in this business and 3 years full time, you got to learn how to talk to the gatekeeper. And sometimes you just sit there and talk to the gatekeeper and don't even indicate that you want to get behind the gate. You just talk to the gatekeeper and wait till they invite you in. Are you willing to wait until you get invited in? A lot of people don't want to be invited in. They just want to bust open the gate and just go in there and say, hey, I'm a notary. You need me. Give me $5,000 a month in business and we good. But that's not how it is. So you got to sometimes figure out who's the gatekeeper and how do you build trust with the gatekeeper to get behind the gate. That's really where it's at. And once I started figuring that out, and it's an ongoing process, man, it's been a whole lot easier. So when I'm out, I'm in different environments, I'm looking for who is the gatekeeper. Who's that gatekeeper? Because they're going to be my sponsor. They're going to be able to speak to the people who makes the decisions as to whether or not I can come in. What are your thoughts on that? Oh man, that is some good eggnog. Oh man, that is some good. And thank you very much, DW. That is some good eggnog. So what are y'all thoughts? And thanks again for hitting the like button. Man, I'm gonna tell you, this eggnog, this ain't no joke. This ain't no joke. It's not alcohol, no liquor in it, no liquor in it. So anybody got any questions to me about being full time? Your thoughts on being full time? What you might be struggling with trying to go full time? It's a different life. It is, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I eat, sleep, drink, everything. This business. My mind is constantly going, and I have to make myself like tone it down. So like this weekend, I didn't take any orders. I did see a couple, but I said, no, I'm not going to do them, just so I can get a break and give myself some time to decompress and not massively and aggressively think about the business. I was going to do some training with my YouTube channel members. And I told him, I said, no, and I didn't realize that it was Veterans Day, because that's how busy, focused I am. I was like, oh, Veterans Day, let me just take a break, because I know, there's a lot of vets and they may want to spend time and go to different events that honor the vets. And I said, I'm gonna just spend this time, and me and my wife, we're gonna be here. We just gonna kick it and everything, since my son's gonna be out of town. And I was like, this would be a good time for me and her to catch up, talk, and just relax. So, and it's sometimes hard for me to relax, but I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna relax, and I probably won't. I'm not the type to sleep all day, but but I'm going to just relax. I might sometimes I just come in this room office here and I just sit in the chair. I just sit in the chair, turn the computer off and just sit in the chair. And see, that's one of the things that I learned as being full-time. You got to learn how to take breaks and allow yourself, your mind, your physical body to reset. And that's why I'm able to just go like I do, because there's times where I will keep going, and it's like my body starts shutting down. And even this past week, that's why I haven't put so many videos out, because this past week I've just been reflecting on my journey here, and allowing my body to dictate what I needed to do. My body kept telling me rest. Just kept saying it over and over. I just kept rest. There were times where I actually went to bed before midnight. And y'all know that's a rarity for me. I literally was going to bed before midnight, and I was like, I mean, there was times where I printed out 3 or 4, closings, and normally I would sit down and prepare them, and I didn't, prep them and stuff. I was like, I'm not even gonna worry about prepping. I'm just gonna print and I'm going to bed. Now, one of the things that I did do, if y'all notice, my printers are a lot taller. They are a lot taller. I added an extra tray to them, and then on this one, that one, I had to replace it all together because it was worn out. It wasn't printing good anymore, so it was worn out. So I went ahead on and replaced this one, and then I added another tray to it, and as well as to that one, added another tray, and they're working pretty good. So that was one of the big things that I've been meaning to do, and I got that done, and everything. So, oh man, it is just so much. I'm just thinking, because I know many of you want to do this business full time and you're concerned about the market. And to be honest, I do think about it. I do recognize what's going on in the market. If y'all been paying attention to my community posts, my community tab on the channel, you will let me pull it up and show y'all. And I'll put the link in the add to the stage. So Eddie Mac, I even made me a new banner up here. I like this. Put my pictures up there and everything. But yeah, on my community tab, I got various different posts, especially talking about the market. Now, like this one here, talking about people getting, getting fired. Guess what? If they're getting fired, they're going to be looking for a side hustle. That means what? There's a possibility that more people are going to be coming into this business. So this is why I'm pressing so hard for y'all to do everything you can to get good at this business and take advantage of every opportunity out there to do closings, so that when the market shifts and changes, you'll be the first person they're called because you got everything together. You got to talk about the trucking scams, foreclosures. This is a good video here, learning how to learn. I'm gonna tell you, when I listened to this, as well as I took a course on it, oh man, that just changed the whole way I did, that I operate, so the community tab. But you can do this business full time. And let me see here, here's a question. Are you ever concerned there won't be enough business? There's a 10% chance for me, yes, I do get concerned. And following people out here who talk about the real estate market and what's going on, they talk about the scenario that has to be in place for it to really be bad. And one of the scenarios is super high interest rates as well as super high house prices. If those two stay high, then yeah, you can see a really a huge shutdown. what's happening because of this, and it's sort of going on right now, is that the high prices are starting to come down. And because they're starting to come down, there's people who are willing to buy. Now, here's the unfortunate thing, and it is unfortunate. There are people who don't understand money. And those people who don't understand money will just hop out there and buy a house. Well, that's business for us. Bad business for them in some cases, because it puts them in a financial bind, maybe 3 or 5 years down the line. But that's a decision they chose to make. So it's like, okay, so they see the price drops a little bit, they're going to get it. And all we can do is be ready for it. Because the government and other entities know the high interest rate and prices is what's going to mess things up, to have them both high at the same time. Somewhere along the line, they're going to step in and do something. Somebody's going to step in and tweak it. Somebody's going to step in and be like, okay, you know what? We got to bring the interest rates down. Like right now, they're not raising them. Now, I believe they're going to continue to raise them. But right now, they're just like, got them on pause. And because of that pause, the normal interest rate has dropped a little bit. So now loan applications have increased, because for the longest, loan applications been steadily declining probably over the last 3 months. I follow that stuff. And I tell y'all all the time, because when I don't get a lot of house inspections, that tells me I'm not there's nobody applying for loans. The more people apply for loans, the more house inspections I get, because the lender wants to have pictures and some kind of inspection done of the house. So when I see a lot of house inspections, there's going to be some HELOCs and some refinances, or maybe even some purchases down the road. And the purchases typically come from the investor. But I haven't been seeing that. It's been real quiet. So that tells me things are tight on the refinance and HELOC market, because people are not applying for them because it's just not financially advantageous for them. But if the house prices come down, you're going to see more. If they can pause the interest rates for a little bit longer, they're not necessarily going to drop them, but if they pause them, you're going to start seeing people trying to come back into the market and take advantage of that. And then the lenders and stuff, and there's people out here who got good credit scores, they got money in the bank, they got a good salary, and some people can even pay cash for these houses or put down 20-30%. They just want something to be lower, either the interest rate or the house price. So that's why I'm not overly concerned that there won't be enough business. The types of business that you're going to get will shift. So right now, there's not a lot of refinances, but there's been a lot of purchases and a lot of sales and a lot of HELOCs. I've been seeing reverse mortgages pop back up recently. So overall, I think we'll be fine if you can stay focused on and just take what you can. And yes, it might not be the price that you want, but keep in mind, if you're not getting paid the full dollar amount, what do you think? I mean, some of these companies even though there's people like, oh, look at the CD. I looked at the CD yesterday. It was a commercial loan that I did. I normally get $300 for those. This company was only paying $75. But when I looked at the CD, you know what they got paid? $125. And out of that $125, they paid me $75. So not everybody is making all this bank and stuff. And then what we got here from Joe. Where I am at North Carolina, Northern California, near Sacramento, is dead. Right, yeah. And see, this is why I've shared with y'all several people to look at, out here, all right. this here, this site here, I'm telling you, if you really want to know what the heck is going on in the real estate market, you got to subscribe to him. And I actually joined as a channel member. I think it's $5 a month. I'm telling you now, you need him. This gentleman here, Orlando Minor. My man here, he be breaking it down. He's a lender also, so he keeps tabs on what's going on in the real estate market. This one that he just did here about having 2 jobs is now the new normal. He's been calling it, talking about, oh, this one right here. They're telling people who they gave bonuses to return their bonus money. They're firing people just before their time period is up, and they're making them pay back their bonus. I'm telling you, you got, like here talking about 3 jobs to pay the mortgage. I'm telling you, look, I know a lot of y'all, let me come back to y'all. I know a lot of y'all like to sit in all these clubhouses and this and the other. I'm listening to folk like this to get an understanding. Now, it's not that when you first start listening to them, you're just going to instantly understand what they're talking about. But as you keep listening, it'll start clicking. And when you start pulling in different information, I'm telling you, this is where it's at. Okay, babe. All right, Mrs. G says she's going to bed. This is where it's at, y'all. When you understand what the heck is going on out here and how money flows, I'm gonna tell you, then you will have a clear understanding of what, how things can work in your area. Be prepared for when things shift. My man here, Jasper Singh, Minority Mindset. Now, if y'all want to really understand, microphone a little closer. If y'all really want to understand passive income, he has a video that talks about it. He talks a lot about it. He talks a lot about income, things of that nature. 60-day past due on people's cars. They're canceling raises, all kinds of stuff. This one about the Treasury, I got to finish listening to that. The bond market is what you need to understand. If you understand the bond market, you'll understand interest rates. And the bond market actually, the bond market and the Treasury, those affect the interest rates. Okay. So this is the kind of stuff that you need to be thinking about. When will the interest rates fall? Corporate debt, invest, all of this stuff. I'm telling you, if you take time out and look at these things, it'll give you a better understanding of what's going on. And then you'll be like, okay, now I know how to maneuver. So when you start seeing orders come in, you're seeing a bunch of HELOCs, you're seeing a bunch of loan mods, you're seeing a bunch of, all of a sudden you see these refis, you'll be ready for them. Because there are people still refining, but they're not doing it for the reasons you think. Not because the interest rate is low, but because they need to pull money out to take care of stuff. There's people pulling money out to go pay off old debt. I'm talking about like $26,000 American Express card. That's what I saw this week. Somebody pulling money out so they can pay off a $26,000 American Express card. That's what's going on. And you got to start looking at where the trends are at. So what we got going on? So my man Caprena said it's not dead. And then he says in the Bay Area, however, he gets a lot of signage from several signing service owners who operate out of his area. Nope, he said signing service, not talking about direct clients. Caprena works a full-time job. Working with a direct client probably wouldn't be the best option for him, fully best option, because when a direct wants you, they want you. But he's working a lot with signing services. One of the things that I'm telling y'all, what has helped me to be successful in my 3 years is that I'm not discriminatory. I don't be too discriminatory on what orders I take or the dollar amounts. Y'all have heard me on this channel many times talk about the $65 order, the $20 order. I've done them. You know, matter of fact, I'm looking right here, a check that I did. I don't even know if it'll show. I can't show too much glare. But this here, $25 check that I deposited on November 3rd. I'm doing what I have to do to bring in money to take care of my family. I'm not worried about trying to be TikTok popular, Instagram, or Facebook popular. And see, this is another aspect of being full-time in the business. You got to decide how you're going to roll and who you're going to roll with. Because if you're rolling with the wrong people, I'm going to tell you now, they'll have you thinking the wrong thing about business. So let me play something for y'all real quick. Yeah, let me play this for y'all real quick. And this here is what's going on. To me, this is what's going on in the notary business. So I got my sharing on. So you might have to turn your volume up a little bit. And these are the clips and stuff that I save talking about business and stuff that I run across on Instagram. So take a listen to this and let me know if you can hear it. And I'll turn the volume up.
Together and talk about other people. Second level of people get together and talk about events. High level people get together and talk about ideas. Big time people get together and talk about execution of ideas. 4 levels of people. Low level people get together and talk about other people. Second level of people get together and talk about events. High level people get together and talk about ideas. Big time people get together and talk about execution of ideas. 4 levels of people. Low level people get together and talk about other people. Second level of people get together and talk about events. High level people get together and talk about ideas. Big time people get together and talk about execution of ideas.
So you said 4 levels of people. Low level people talk about people. And that's one of the issues that I'm seeing right now. That a lot of people out here, a lot of these social media things is worrying about talking about people and complaining about things and not solving problems. So if as a business owner, if you're really trying, you're looking to be a problem solver. You identify the problem and then you find a way to solve the problem. And if you can't find a way to solve a problem, then find somebody who's into solving problems. Find somebody who's about solving problems and coming up with solutions that can greatly benefit the person who has the problem. When you identify a problem and you present a solution, people will be more attracted to you and more attentive to you. But if you're not willing to even look at the problem, but you just want to complain, then guess what? You're never going to really move forward like you want to move forward. So it was one more thing that I wanted y'all. Let's see if I can find that. Now, this is coming from Kobe Bryant.
People have a certain energy about them. When there are people in the world that are focused and like I wake up in the morning with a...
Stop that and start that back again. So listen to this about Kobe Bryant, about who you hang with.
People have a certain energy about them. When there are people in the world that are focused and like I wake up in the morning with a purpose. This is what I'm doing. You can feel that energy. So those are the people that I tend to work with a lot. And if you don't have that, I can sense it. If you're a person that's very distracted, hanging around the wrong crowd, not having that sense of purpose, we don't want to be around it because that stuff will bring you down.
So he's talking about and y'all can see this on my Instagram. He's talking about hanging around people who got a sense of purpose. One of the ways to be full-time in business, and really just in business at overall, you got to be around people who have a sense of purpose. Okay. Sometimes people will say your why. Okay. Nonetheless, they got to have a sense of purpose and they can't be hanging around people who don't. So you're hanging around Joe, hanging around Tanya. If Tanya is hanging around Yvette, who doesn't have a sense of purpose, that more than likely going to rub off on Tanya, which could then rub off on Joe. So you got to look at who you're hanging with and who you're hanging with hangs with, because it can be very dangerous, because it can really, really mess you up. So if you are all about, well, I'm, being this social butterfly, okay, well, that's nice, but you really need to get into purpose and get with people who understand solving problems. If you're not willing to solve problems, because that's what business is all about, finding solution to people's problems. Being a mobile notary, oh, people can't come to me, well, I can come to them. But when you make it seem like it's a chore, it's a bother to come to you, well, guess what? They're going to tell their friends, don't call this person, because guess what? They don't really like coming to you. And if that's your business model, then cool. But then don't have an attitude with people who don't understand that's your business model. Be polite to them. And a lot of folk aren't being polite. You're just putting people down like, well, if you don't want me to come, if you're not going to come to me, then you just ain't going to get my service. Then have somebody who does mobile, who will be mobile, and go to them and say, hey, look, I'm not in a position to come to you at the moment, but let me contact a couple of my other notaries that I have, and they and one of them I'm sure will be able to come to you. Or you just give them their numbers. But nonetheless, you treat them right and you solve the problem. How many of you are actually solving the problem of people when they call you and, well, I can't come to you now, and then you just hang up and keep going? Anybody who calls me concerning notary, I'm always trying to find a solution to their problem. Whether I'm the notary who does it or not, I'm always trying to find a solution to their problem. If somebody calls me, a title company calls me direct and say, hey, can you do that? And I'm not available, and if they're willing to listen, then I will share with them other notaries who they can call. A lot of times, once I say, no, I'm not available, okay, bye. And then they just hang up. They miss out. They miss out. But some other ones will actually say, well, do you know anybody? Yes, I do. And I say, well, let me text them and find out. And then I'll text a certain person, and they're like, yes, I'm available. I say, here, give this person a call. And then they'll call them. And now what have I done? Because a lot of the notaries who I refer are notaries who are not getting as many opportunities as me. So I'm sharing that with them. And then they're getting an opportunity. And guess what? They then in turn share opportunities with me. So we're looking out for each other. In other words, we're helping each other with the problems that we have, which is getting more work, which alleviates the concern, will there be enough work? But if you're being selfish, they're being selfish. You're only looking out for you. They're only looking out for them. You see what I'm saying? Hey, good evening to you. Thank you very much. Hey, Yvette. And thank you very much. Thank you very much there, Angela. So for me, it has been figuring out the people in this industry. And I'm just going to be honest with y'all. There are a lot of people in this industry who are trying to do this business, and they don't really understand what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing, what they're doing. They're just winging it, and they're just hoping that somebody will tell them what to do, and they're not willing to try to find out on their own. They don't want to put in the time and effort, and partly because I'll just be straight with you as always. There's some people who have comprehension issues. They just understanding the concept of what they need to do is foreign to them, and they're like, it rubs them the wrong way because they've been so used to the W-2 way of doing things that they're really, really, really having a hard time making the shift over. Then you have people who they're just, and thank you very much there, Serenity, brand new notary, and she is doing a great job. She just had an estate planning and made a great connection with the attorneys. She is doing fabulous. And I think she's done probably maybe 4 or 5 closings or notary assignments, and she just got started a few months ago. She's going out there and making it happen and taking advantage of it. So, and she did the thing of answer the phone. Somebody called her, she answered the phone, and boom. Hopefully, as she was telling me, that those people will give her some more opportunities with other attorneys in that office. That's a positive right there. So this is what you have to do. You gotta, you you gotta be willing to not be lazy. So if you are a lazy person, if you're not willing to work it, if like people say, well, it's not what I thought it was going to be. My question to you is this: what did you think it was going to be? And the next question is, where did you get that thought? So what did you think it was going to be? And where did you get that thought? Because that is key. If you got the thought that you have about what you think this notary business is supposed to be, and you got it from somebody who's just trying to market to you to sell you the next thing, or to try to inflate what this business is all about, then that's where your problem is. If you just have it within you that, well, I just thought it would be a whole lot easier, I didn't think I was gonna have to do all of this, then maybe there's something within you that needs to be changed, which means you may not fully and truly understand business. So therefore, you're like, I thought this was gonna be like my W-2. And I've had notaries tell me they was thinking this would be like something similar to their W-2, because they're thinking that, oh, I thought the signing company would tell me if I made a mistake. They don't have to tell you. They're not obligated to tell you, an independent contractor who's supposed to know how to do their job, that you didn't do your job. Which I don't understand, and I had to learn, is that there's a boss, or a manager, or owner that's in charge of that signing company to some level of degree, has some authority over it. And that person can easily tell the folk who are making the phone calls and selections, if an order comes back wrong to this level, meaning there's different levels. Level one, just ask the notary to fix it. Level two, give it, okay, we might have to have a talk with the notary to figure out what the heck's going on. Level three, don't even call them, just find somebody else to do it, and don't use that notary again. And what many of you don't understand is that a lot of us have gotten into that level three category. Well, not me, I'm staying out of it. But many of you have gotten into that level three category, that I'm hypothetically, of you made some really bad mistakes, to the point that that company said, you know what, it's not even worth trying to talk to them. And some notaries are like, well, I did the order and they never said that I did anything wrong. Should I call them? If you really did something wrong that they felt that they need to address, they will call you. But you got to remember, they're not obligated, because you're not their employee. When you're looking for the signing company to give you feedback, you're instantly still talking about W-2 world. Now, two reasons. One, because you're still thinking W-2. And the second reason is because you're not confident in what you're doing. When you're not confident in what you're doing, you're going to do what? Always seek feedback. It would be nice to get feedback. That's why a lot of people like working with Service Connect and Solidify and a couple of others, because they have, and Amrock, because they got this report card, and they've had clubhouses and all of that kind of stuff. We got clubhouse. I mean, we got report cards. What's your report card? And I'm like, I don't care. Are you still selecting me? Yes or no? I don't care if you give me 3 stars. If you still keep picking me, because what you're giving me 3 stars for might be because you don't like the fact that I'm a rule follower. I'm following the rules, and you thought that I was going to break the rules, and you gave me a 3 star. I don't know. Or maybe the customer didn't like the fact that I wouldn't bite on their little political talk or religious talk, and I kept my ground, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? It could be a lot of different reasons. But a lot of notaries are like, yeah, I can't wait to get my report card. To me, that's the wrong concept. And to me, the company shouldn't even be giving me a report card. Either I did good or I didn't. If I did good, keep hiring me, keep paying me. I don't need to see 4 or 5 stars. I know I got 4 or 5 stars on different platforms. But until you tell me that I'm doing something wrong, I got to keep moving in the same direction. So if what I've done is really bad, then you would tell me and then I would adjust. So you got to stop always looking for this validation from them, which means if you're getting the proper training or you've trained yourself properly, you will know that you did it right. You'll know. And then the only thing that they will do is nitpick. They will nitpick about small little things. And it's like, okay, well, so I really didn't do anything wrong, but you just didn't like the way something was written by the signer. The signer didn't sign their name the way you thought they should, or they didn't date the way you thought they should, or what have you, or the husband and wife, they initialed, but they put their initials too close together. You know what I'm saying? They're nitpicking and stuff like that. But in and of itself, what I'm supposed to do, did I do that correctly? Oh yeah, you didn't no nothing you did wrong. Okay, okay, good. So then you just keep calling me and I'll just go back and fix it. And now I know they're nitpicky. And that's just the truth. Some companies are nitpicky about every little thing. Once you figure out who is and who isn't, make a note of it, and then make sure you put extra attention so that you don't get slowed up by their nitpickiness. That's all. So, you know, definitely not going to be that level 3 type of notary. Yeah. But that's where a lot of y'all are. And I'm not trying to say it like I'm better than y'all. I'm just being honest because the goal is not to be that level 3 bad notary. And I know it hurts when you are that level 3 bad notary and you don't know it and they won't share anything with you. They won't tell you. Again, you have to realize they are not obligated because you are an independent contractor. They have no obligation to tell you anything about whatever. That's just the way it is. Now, if they choose to, that's that's on them. And some companies have, but there's many signing company owners out here that have very little patience with notaries, and their mindset is you need to know what you're doing, or you can't do it. I'm moving on. I used you once. I count it as a loss. I'll pay you, or matter of fact, I'm only pay you half because you jacked it up that much, and they just keep going because they got $250,000 a year, $500,000 a year worth of business, or $2 million worth of business, and they don't have time to play educator with us. You should have gotten educated. So if you're going to run this business full time, that means you got to take responsibility to educate yourself properly in this business so that when you're out there doing it, you can do it right. And then you can make the money that you need to make. So I would say if you're not confident or really know what you're supposed to be doing, that right there can restrict your amount of business. And for some people, because you're not communicating confidence in your profile, some people don't want to mess with you. They look for confidence. And we know when you're dating, confidence. When a woman is confident, when a man is confident, it attracts confident people. But if you're real iffy, if you don't spend money on the training course and you're like, well, I hope I know what I'm doing. You can't be hoping you know what you're doing. Either you do or you don't. And it comes out in the way you write. It comes out when people talk to you on the phone because you'll be so busy trying to memorize that script. You know, you done had that script and it's sitting by your phone or on your desk at home, and then you're in the backyard doing something with the kids, and then you get a phone call and they're like, hey, yeah, I want to talk to you about doing this in order. And now you froze up. You done froze and you like, and kids looking at you like, pop, what's wrong? You okay? Little man pulls out his phone. Do I need to call 911? No. I'm good. I'm good. You have to have it so in you that it just flows. When somebody calls, you got to be able to know how you can make it happen. You got to be able to know your pricing, all of that. But if you don't and you sound not confident, you sound iffy, you sound sketchy, you start sounding like those other notaries that they've already said no to because you and those other notaries done took the same training. You and those other notaries done bought the same scripts. You and those other notaries have been practicing saying the same thing. They remember that, and and I've talked to them, and they told me, yeah, all these notaries keep saying the same script, and we know who they're getting trained by, and we don't like that person. Any questions? I know y'all listening to me. Any questions about this business? Doesn't matter about whether you full time or part time. Anything that you got on your mind that you're trying to figure out, anything that you're concerned about, let's talk about it, people. I'm serious. And again, appreciate y'all hitting the like button and everything, and sharing. If there's anything concerning this business that you are like, something that you may have heard, you ain't got to say the name of the person who you heard it from. You don't have to say the training that you took where you got it from. You don't have to say the Facebook group that you heard it in. But if there's something questionable that you heard, or something that you question you have, but you just never got a solid answer, let's talk about it now. Maybe there's something that I can add. Maybe like you got Caprentice, all of that. Thank you for reminding me about that. Apostille. Now I did a video about that about a month or two ago. So when you get a chance to look back in the library, I did a video about that. Apostilles are simply this: certain state that, well, first of all, what state you're in. Tell me what state you're in. I need to know that. Oh man, that eggnog is good. That bad boy good. That bad boy good. Yeah, what state you're in, Joe? Yeah, I need to know what state you're in. Okay, California. All right. So, gotcha. Okay. All right, gotcha. California. So, apostille is nothing but the state authenticating certain documents, birth certificates, marriage certificates, in some states for passports, transcripts, college transcripts, things of that nature. They authenticate them. Basically, you take the document to the state and they authenticate it. Now, we don't do the apostille. We don't. Now, what the only thing that we have to do is determine, you'll see it in the document, where it originated from. Okay, I'm giving you a loose, thank you, buddy. I got it. California. I should have remembered that from earlier. My bad. I was too big. I was too deep into enjoying that eggnog, and my mind went somewhere else. So if somebody brings you 5 documents and 3 of them are for Virginia, well, you have to send those documents back to the secretary, to the I won't say secretary, well, depending on the state, you have to send them back to the people who do apostille for the state of Virginia, which is in Richmond. So those documents have to be sent back to them. Now, in Virginia, and I don't know about any other state, never tried to look into it enough, but in Virginia, whatever documents you send to them to be apostille and authenticated, they have to have been issued within the last 12 months. If it's been longer than 12 months, you have to get them reissued. So then that means the state will reissue it, and then you send it back to the state in order for it to be authenticated. The first one that I did, well, the only one that I did, the birth certificate was from 2015. It's 2023. So he had to go order a new birth certificate and then send that to the state via me in order to get it authenticated. And then if the other 2 documents out of the 5 are for Texas, so you're in California, but the person is in California with you. They got 2 documents that was originated out of Texas, and 3 that was originated out of Virginia. It has to go back to those states for authentication. Now, if as I learned, and I took Judi Lawrence's course, and I think in my description as a link to her course, I think she's just upgraded it or updated it and everything. Let's say you have a power of attorney. If the power of attorney had not been notarized yet, and it was originally created in North Carolina, but you're in California, well, when you get that power of attorney, it needs to be notarized. Well, guess what? You can notarize it, but guess where it needs to go? It needs to go to your state there. So the document, because it has to go to the state where it was notarized at. So in on Virginia's site, as a matter of fact, let me pull it up so we can. That's the best thing. So let's pull it up. Best way to do look at it. All right. All right. So authentication. Da, 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 da. Okay. So it talks about how to submit. This is for Virginia. So 1, gather the documents need to be authenticated, gather the required items, and a cover letter, payment, and all of that. Because there's a cover letter that you have to use, mail it to them, and then wait to receive them back. Or you can make an appointment. So on the appointment system, hopefully it'll come up because sometimes it'll be down. So right now, that was this week. Okay, so let's look at next week. There's nothing available for next week. So, and then there's nothing available, and then they're going to be closed probably for the rest of this week here for Thanksgiving. And then right now, the next appointment that you can get in Virginia will be November 27th through the 30th. That's when you will be able to get appointments, and they have plenty right now. So if you needed something, if somebody needed something apostille, and you talking about going up to Richmond, you talking about November 26th, way down the line. I mean, November 27th at least. Yeah, November 27th at the earliest, face to face. So that means you will have to do what? Mail it. Okay. And then and it was something else about the where is it? Where is it? Talks about that, talks about the fees, appointments, all of that, proper ID. Can you mail? You can mail them in, where to mail them in, and all of that kind of stuff, prepaid envelope, all of that. So that's for Virginia. So I understand it can be confusing. It can be somewhat confusing, but that's the way they do it. And then there was something. Here it is. Here it is. So this here, it tells you a notarized document. This is for Virginia. The document must be properly notarized by a Virginia notary within the past 12 months, which means if you're submitting a document that's been notarized in Virginia, it has to be properly notarized by a Virginia notary in the past 12 months. So if you have a power of attorney and it was done in 2021 by a Virginia notary, they're not going to accept that. You're going to have to get it reissued or whatever document it is. I'm just using power of attorney as an example. Vital records, death certificates, and all of that cannot be notarized. Those can't be notarized, and it had to be issued within the past 12 months. And then it talks about court records and stuff. So this is just for Virginia. You have to think about or find out what your state says the documents need to be. There's no expedited service in Virginia. So you can't sit here and say, okay, well, I'm going to expedite it. You send it in, they send it back. by mail, or you go up there starting the 27th of this month. It's that simple. Now, let's just say, now that works. Let's just say you have a client that's like, well, it's going to take me a couple of weeks to get my documents together, i.e., they're not, they haven't been done in the past 12 months. So you may be okay with that because you say, okay, well, let me go ahead on. And what I would do is get a idea of when they're going to be, when do they think they're going to have them back, so that I can pick maybe one day each week or a couple of days. Let's just say, well, they said, well, the estimated time for them to get back is on the 27th. Okay. So I'll make an appointment for the 28th and the 29th. I should be covered. And if they got the tracking number, you get the tracking number from them, all of that. So now you know. And then you have to figure out when you can do this and make an appointment and go up there. And to make the appointment, you click on it and then you fill it in. You can only process up to 20 documents. Boom, 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 boom. Now, if you got more than 20 documents, I guess you can make 2 appointments. You make 2 different appointments. They didn't say you can't, so I would, and you can do it that way. And it says, I'm getting late. Congrats on the 3 years. Thank you. Wish you much continued success, you and your family, and hard work. I appreciate it. So if you want to do this business full time, well, let me ask this here, and I had forgot to ask. I meant to ask it earlier. How many people are looking to, if you're not doing it full time, looking to do it full time? How many notaries right now that's in the chat tonight, and even on the replay, are interested in doing this full time and probably trying to figure out how to make that happen? Red velvet popping, eggnog popping, red velvet cake popping. I'm gonna sleep good, pumped up on sugar. Okay. I'm trying to think how I want to do this here. All right, so let's do this here. Let's try something here. Let's do this here. If you're interested, let me do it this way. Hold on. Typing some stuff up here for you. So I hope I did it right. All right. If you're interested, because what I want to do is, if you're interested, email me, and you can just put you can just put the subject line full time. So email me with the subject line full time. And it doesn't matter when you plan on going. It doesn't have to be today or tomorrow this year. It can be next year, or it could be 2025. But if you're thinking about it, if you're really thinking about it, I would like to meet with y'all. And this is free. This is free. I'm not going to charge y'all to do this. Okay. Honestly, I'm not going to charge y'all to do this. For those of you who are interested, the one rule that I have, one of the rules I have, we do a Zoom. I'm going to do a Zoom with y'all, cameras on. None of this here hide behind little, pictures of man and ice cream pops and stuff. Cameras on, because I like to see the people who I'm talking to. Y'all see me? Okay. Y'all wouldn't like it if I was doing the video, just a faceless video all the time. So I would like to see y'all. So the rule, you got to have your cameras on. Okay. Cameras on, fix yourself up. Because if you're talking about going full time and doing this here, then come to the meeting prepared like you are going full time. So take your bonnet off. I'm not against bonnets, but if you got to get in the right mindset. Okay. You got to get in the right mindset. So come there. I'm not saying you got to be made up to the hilt, but just come like, okay, let me come looking the part because it's about mindset. Okay. I know I'm not a millionaire, but I know doggone well that Michelle Obama was to say, or Barack was to say, hey, we're going to talk to y'all about being a full time, presidential notary. Your hind parts will be up. You'll be, you'll be okay. And I'm not saying that I'm trying to get that kind of respect. I'm just saying respect that for yourself. Okay. This is about you and your own self respect for you and your business. Okay. Present it, for you and your business. Okay. That's why when I come up here, very rarely do y'all see me in a relaxed mode when I come up here out in public. Now, sometimes I might be a little more relaxed on my Zooms, but I'm presentable. Okay. I'm not, you know, fully all dressed up and all that stuff. I mean, heck, I even got regular pants on. I'm not sitting up here in shorts. I mean, it's a mindset. Okay. It's a mindset. So I put the email in there. Just email me with the subject line full time, and I will coordinate a time, probably, more likely on the weekends, a Saturday or a Sunday, um, to do a Zoom where we can have a conversation with y'all and to figure some stuff out and to do some brainstorming. And the reason why I want to do it as a group rather than trying to do it one on one, because there are people who are going to need to hear the answer. So, and I know, so instead of trying to, I'm not one, because my Zooms end up being sometimes 3 hours and I ain't trying to post a 3 hour Zoom up there. And sometimes people be talking about stuff that they don't want out publicly. So very rarely do I post a Zoom that I do because people are really trying to figure some things out. And that way we can have a brainstorming session and talking. Again, I'm gonna do this for free. I'm not charging anybody anything. If you come on, you come on. If you don't come on, you don't come on. Now, for those of you who might be listening to this video 2 months later or 6 months later, time has passed. Okay. I may be doing it again at the time you look at this, don't know. But and I appreciate all of y'all who've been hanging in here right now. So just when you get a chance, just email me with the subject line, um, full time and everything. So got you interested in apostille. And we'll talk about the different pieces and things that you can do in this business. Do you have a website? Through which company do you choose? Also, okay, I have a website. I do have a website, and I'm a web developer by trade. So I have my own website I put together myself. This is it here, Griffin Notary. Haven't looked at it in a minute. And just so y'all can understand the elements, and this is just a one-page site that I put together. And then this here just showing the area. So let's talk about websites real quick. I know a lot of people talk about SEO and this, that, and the other, but here's my thing. You got to have some good information on the site. A lot of people are more concerned about just keywords on the site so that it brings people to it and it pops up in searches and all of that. But one of the things that I like to do, and I still got to put more on here, just haven't had time to, is communicate what they get from me. So I'm telling them Griffin Notary Services, Hampton Roads #1 notary. Somebody tell me, prove to me that I'm not. That's who I am. That's what I said. So that right there instills what I talked about earlier, confidence. Confidence that I'm the top notary. Wills, power of attorneys, apostille, real estate. Notary services to meet your needs. Real estate closing, apostille service, estate planning, notary for your business, online notary services. And could I put the online stuff up here? Yeah, but I didn't because I know a lot of people not too familiar with it. So I wanted to stick with something that I knew people, at least in my opinion, would recognize or be instantly like, oh, okay, cool. Then here it is about me, a picture of me so they'll see who they're dealing with. Okay. Then the knowledge center. Okay. different things about wills, power of attorneys, stuff that I feel that people that over the years that people keep asking me questions about. And it's like, okay, constant answer. I can refer them to my site and they can spend time on my site looking at videos to learn more about it. So I pull these videos in off of YouTube and all of that. Then I have my contact information, which the only thing I have not done, I keep forgetting to do, got to take time out to do maybe this weekend, is put a contact form up here. Makes it a little bit easier for them to do. But if they click this, it'll, open up their email program. And then my slogan, coming to you is what we do. And then here's the area showing the area that I work in. I just do the map up, and all of that. So this here now, I don't have anything on here about prices and things of that nature. And that's another thing that I am going to put up that I just didn't take out time to do it. But you make the site how you want it to communicate what you want. And for as the SEO, search engine optimization, the more people spend time on your site, the more that Google says, or Bing or whoever says, oh, people like this site because look at how much time they're spending on it. So I'm designing it to where people can spend some time on it. And there's a lot of other things you can do. Now, honestly, I don't get a whole lot of business from my site. I don't even push it. And yes, I do have a Google page. I do have a Google page. Trying to pull it up. I don't even really go to the daggone thing. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't even open this thing up. Okay, yes. Okay. How the heck do you open it up to look at it? I guess I need to figure out how to edit the daggone thing. But I can show you what like I said, I don't even mess with this thing. Yeah. Yeah. And people always ask, "What's how you got the reason why this one review is from somebody that I was doing some business with that had nothing to do with my business, and they came on here and wrote a review. And I've been trying to get Google to take it off, and they won't. So I ain't worried about it. I ain't even worried about it no more. But I mean, I only got 8 reviews. Honestly, I only got 8 reviews. But I will tell you this: one of the reasons one person hired me because they said simple thing. They said they saw my picture. They saw me. They saw my picture. Now, my thing is this. Personally, I'm not I'm personally not into doing pictures with other people that I don't know. Yes, I sat here and did this closing with you or whatever, but I'm not the hey, let's take a picture. And if that is not me. Okay, that's just not my personality. So you're not going to see me with pictures of all these people and things of that nature on my site because I did all of these different appointments. That is just not me. If that's you, go for it. I just tell people, hey, here's who I am. This is what I offer. You either pick me or you don't. I'm not saying that's the right way. I'm just saying that's my way. And this is what it's all about. You do it your way. Um, but it's just that I'm not the kind of guy that's going to be sitting here asking people for reviews and that's just not me. If you give me a review, I mean, I've sent probably an email out to get reviews 6 times, 7, and I've only gotten 2. The other reviews I've gotten are just people, they told me, hey, I want to give you a review. All right, cool. Here you go. If they give me one, cool. If they don't, I don't trip. I honestly don't trip on it. I'm gonna just keep doing my work and I keep getting business. So can it help? Yes. Has it? Yes. But I'm not married to it. I'm not divorced from it. It's just a tool that is out there because I still gotta put in the work and do the work. And I just feel that if I can do that consistently, everything else will fall in line. There's people that I come across that this isn't them. They're not going to do a review. They're not looking for anybody. Tend to they tend to work with people who are referred to them. They rather work with referrals because the person, if you referred them, then that means you have a working relationship with them and you at least trust grip. So even the closing that I did today, the gentleman was like, "Hey, let me get your information because I have people who do need a notary." So they trust him. Again, that sponsor who's speaking in an arena that I don't have access to. He said, I was, basically, I'm going to tell people about you. Here's my information, blah, blah, blah. And then boom. If it comes through, cool. If it doesn't, I'm cool with it. I am honestly cool with it because I didn't really lose anything because I don't know who these people are that he's talking about. And if they're the kind of people who only work with folk on a referral basis and not just off of Google because they know Google can be pumped up, then I would not be market. I would never market to them anyway. They would never see my stuff because that's not how they're going to look for a notary. You see what I'm saying? So if you are, and then it says, if you have one, if you have one, how long did it take to see consistent bid? Right now, if you look, everybody is taking Google page courses or get big Google profile courses, and everybody's using the same tactic and techniques to pump their business up. Learn the basics of what Google business page or Google profile is about, and then put your own flair in there. I know that if I put pictures on there, it'll pop. I'm just personally not comfortable doing that with somebody I really don't know. I don't know this person to do that. I'm just not comfortable. I don't know if they might turn out to be somebody bad down the road, and I got their picture on my. I don't want that. I'm sorry. And then I got so many pictures, I don't forgot that. And then they like, oh yeah, that picture you had from May 2019. Yeah, that person crazy. I don't want that. That's just me. Okay. I might be overthinking it, but I just don't want that. So I leave that kind of stuff alone. And to be honest, I be forgetting. And I'm so busy anyway, I don't have time to okay, you know, that's just not me. Okay. And I know some people live for that. There are notaries who actually live for that. And I think they like being a notary. So they have a reason to take pictures to post them on the internet. I really do. It's their thing. And I support it. And if somebody told me they wanted me to take a picture, you could take a picture of me. I'm just not posting you on my stuff. But you can post me wherever. I don't care. I can't control that unless I say, don't take a picture of me. So we got some people that's interested in doing the business, interested in doing apostilles. Okay, you got a 1-year-old and yes, one day, give yourself 2 years. We can start now planning apprentice. I don't know, finding it difficult to understand. Signings are easier. Yeah. It takes a little bit. The main thing here's what helped me understand apostilles. And continue asking your questions. Any questions you got about this business or whatever, even if it's a different business, it don't matter. Um, when I understood that the document has to go back to the state capital where it originated from, that's when it clicked. That was when it clicked. That's just, I mean, I'm being honest. The moment I learned that, and when the realization of that clicked in my head, and I was like, oh, so if I got X amount of documents and whatever state they originated from, that's where I send it. Got it. I don't know why, but the moment that I learned that, everything opened up, and my confidence was like, boom, I'm ready to do it. Prior to that, it was just something wasn't clicking, and my gut was telling me, you need to know one more piece of information. I didn't know what that was, but when I heard it, it clicked, and I was locked in. Now, I have not done any advertising, big advertisement for Apostille because Now that I've done one and I see the logistics to do it, I'm like, okay, oh man, okay. Basically, I'm gonna be mailing a lot of stuff up there. So I don't know if I'm ready to hop on that yet. You know, it is a moneymaker, but I don't know if I'm ready to hop on that yet. But if it came, I would do it. Advertising to do it, I'm not ready to do that yet. But if somebody came across me and asked, could I do it? Oh yeah. I'm not going to turn it down. I'm just not in a position right now to actually market that type of thing. Or you can tag, yeah, yeah, that would be another option. To do that, to have y'all go to the state, which means once we all understand how to do it, send a document. And see, that was another reason why I really didn't look at doing it, because I knew I might not be able to get up to the state capitol. And at that time, now that I now do have, I didn't have anybody that I felt I could rely on and trust to go up there and do it, or to send it to. Um, there was people that would do it, but I didn't know them well enough. I know Serenity and I know Ada. So you got to have somebody that you confident in, that you can trust. And now I have that. So now it's just a matter of just getting to work, and then you can mail the documents, like in this case, to Serenity or to that individual, and then they can walk it in there. And then they will fill out the stuff, they will get it done, and then they will ship it back to you. So that's another way that it can be done. Any other questions concerning the notary business or anything about life? It don't matter to me. But I'll be honest, 3 years in the business has been wonderful. I've enjoyed every moment of it. It has just been fantastic. And I know that I'm no longer built for W-2 work. I'm not messing with it. I'm staying away from it. I'm not even trying to go to it. Now, if I had to, I could, or I would, I guess you could say. But I'm putting forth every effort not to. And that's the whole thing that drives me. I don't want to go back. I would rather deal with whatever stress, whatever concerns about business and money and all. I'd rather deal with this, because it's like I have more control over this. I have a way I can work this out. When things go crazy at work and you stuck with them and they're not paying you enough and life has changed, what more can you do? Because you're sort of locked into them for 8 hours a day. And by the time you finish with them, you're tired, and you can't even think to do anything. But this freedom that I have now, if there's another side hustle that I want to adopt and do, whether long term or short term, I can do that to make things change in my life. I can add services, I can take away things. There's a lot that I can do being full time. So I really, really enjoy it. I just have to make sure that I stay smart in what I do and watch the company I keep. Because if I have the wrong people in my life, it will destroy everything that I'm doing. If I'm spending more time in the wrong areas, it will destroy everything that I'm doing. And there are some people who can hang in social media stuff all day. And at one point in time, I was, but now I'm realizing, okay, not even that I'm realizing, I just don't have the time to. So when I could hang in Clubhouse and other things, I was in there. But now things have shifted and things, have other opportunities are coming about. So now I'm like, I got to spend time over here, because Clubhouse don't pay me. And then I got channel members, and that's the join button y'all see at the bottom. I got people who pay me to give them some detailed and some specific help. So I got to be there for them. There's people who need me to do document reviews with them. I got to be there for them. There's people who just need to talk and figure some stuff out. I will be there for them. So hanging over in certain social media realms, when people need me, I got to be where the people need me. Or is they need help so they can move their business forward. That's what I'm about. Um, I haven't done any jail stuff. Haven't even thought about it or looked into it. I have done hospitals. I do hospitals anytime as much as they want. I'm actually on a couple of lists with the hospitals um, as a preferred notary to come to the hospital and do not closings. I have done a closing in a hospital, but to do whatever they need done, power of attorneys most of the time is what it is. The nursing homes spent a lot of time in the nursing homes, all sugared up. Spent a lot of time in the nursing homes. Hold on, I will go wherever the opportunity presents itself and do what I got to do to provide a service for them. In other words, solving the problem. That's what this is all about, y'all. I focus on every single day. What problem can I solve? When I'm at real estate closings, if I happen to be in a title office, I am looking for people to communicate that they got a problem with regards to notary stuff. Every time I talk to them people about, I say, especially if you're in a military area, all you got to do is just tell them, say, I know from time to time you have military members that may go out, that may get deployed and they forget to do, let's say if you do run, especially if you do run, and they may forget to do California. I don't know if this applies to y'all. I don't think y'all do run. Still don't do run. But if you're in a state that does run and your state allows you to do it outside of just your, you can say, yeah, I can do a power of attorney or will run if the state allows it. Or you can let them know, well, if you have a member that needs a will or power of attorney done, I have no problem going to their house. I can meet them and go to their house and get it done for you. You let the person know that, hey, if you have this problem, I have a solution. And I'm telling you, we all care and are attracted to people who have solutions. If you the teacher may not like your kid and give your kid a hard time, but you'll keep your kid in that school because the principal brings solutions to the problem. The problem is that your son or your daughter's not having a good time in trying to learn in that classroom with that teacher. So that principal brings a solution in and gets it fixed. It may not necessarily fix the teacher, but they fix the situation to the point to where your child can learn. And they address the situation and they focus on it, they deal with it and they get it corrected, at least to the point that your child can learn and take advantage of that opportunity to learn something from that teacher, even though that teacher may still not like them, but they put that teacher in check just long enough to do their job. We're coming in to fix the problems, to present a solution to the problems, and then you just got to be ready to rock and roll, as I always say. Too many notaries talk a good game, but then when the opportunity for them to showcase what they can do comes, they don't. They don't. They do not. They freeze up. I mean, oh man, thank y'all for these 25 here. Thank y'all. I've been meaning. I've been meaning to ask this question. All of this mentorship stuff that people keep saying that we need to pay for. For those of you who paid for mentorship, has it helped you to get to where you need to be in your business? If you know somebody who has paid for mentorship, has it helped them to get to where they're supposed to be in their business? That's the question. Because mentorship should be moving you in the direction that you supposed to be going. And thank you very much there, Dark Room Media. Appreciate it. That's the thing. Thank you, Tammy. Are is the has the all of this or the mentor, all of this stuff, because I can tell you the answer is probably no. Because the people who hang here, the party people who hang here, y'all not rocking 10, 15, $20,000 a month. Those people don't come hang out with us. They're on a different level. They're not on this level here. This is the level of let's get you going. Let's get you grounded. So they're not um thank you. Thank you. They're not really coming here to because they got their connections and they're making their money. So for the most part, either the answer will be no, it hasn't done anything for you. And then the question is why? Is it because you just flat out didn't execute it? Or was it stuff that you learned wasn't executable? So you're willing to execute it, but you can't execute something that just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You try to and you just see that okay, that information is just null and void for me. Or it is valuable, is I mean valid, but you just didn't go out there and do it. It's one of those two. But nonetheless, you haven't been $10,000 a month successful from the information you had that you learned. And then if that's not okay, then the question is, do you know somebody who's taking this stuff, who's done all of this, who's invested this time and money in these courses and mentoring and next level and next level and next level? Are they on the next level? Are they actually consistently bringing in this money that they said they could bring in? It's either yes or no. If they are, then hopefully they will share with you things without charging you an arm and a leg. If they are not, then things got to be reevaluated. You got to take another look at it and like, okay, all this training, all of this mentoring, all of this, all of this, all of this, and I'm still not anywhere near feeling confident to go out here and do it. That's my concern because so many people lack the confidence to do this job. And again, that's one of the core things that I've had with my business is that I'm not afraid to go out here and do the job. I have the confidence, the knowledge. So now let me go do it, which means now I can focus on looking for the opportunity. When you don't have the confidence and the knowledge to do something, you really can't focus on getting business because you know you're not ready for it. You can't focus on doing business when you're not ready for the business. So therefore, you're just not going to try. You're just going to be like, I'm done. Hey, but you're spending more and more money, but the confidence never comes. And if the confidence never comes, then either it's the information you are getting that's keeping it stifled, or you are keeping it stifled. But nonetheless, you have to figure out which one it is. And when you can figure that out, and that's the number one key to my success, is that once I figured myself out, then I was able to move forward in growing my business. But until I did that, I didn't. If you don't know who you are, if you don't understand your risk tolerances and all of that, you will never move forward in this or any other business because you don't know yourself and you don't have confidence in yourself. And other people will see that too. All right, party people, about ready to bounce. Hour 48 minutes. We've been kicking it up here. I appreciate everything from y'all. I hope you learned something. I hope this was what y'all needed it to be. I don't know what you thought it was going to be, but I hope this time was what you felt that you needed it to be for you and your business. Um, man said people make it seem so easy. It's not easy. It's being consistent, not giving up, and not being afraid to try new things. That is correct. That is 1,000% correct. And you know it's questionable. I won't say scam. You know things are questionable when they never tell you how to deal with the tough times. How many of these people out here talk to y'all about how to deal with the tough times? And if they do, is it behind a paid wall? Is the only time they can talk to you about how to deal with the tough times is when you paid them for this private time that nobody else can know about in order for you to learn how to deal with the tough times. That that's very questionable. That is very questionable to me. So that is a great, great statement there. People seem to make it, people make it seem so easy, and it's not. Being consistent, not giving up, and and not being afraid to try new things. That is correct. That is correct. So, whoo, all right. Yep. You have a wonderful weekend. Mm, Thank you for your time. I'm gonna have to get this sugar high down some a little bit, and then I go in there and kick it and do what I got to do. Um, check the house, probably do see if the dishes need to be washed and all that. And see, actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna decompress a little bit more because I'm the type I got to decompress. And there's a show on Netflix that I like called My Dad's a Bounty Hunter. Um, and I'm gonna sit down and look at that season two and look at that, and that just looking at that family structure and everything, and and the whole family, the main characters are black, so that's odd to have a space move or space cartoon. And yes, it's a cartoon, a space cartoon where the main characters are black man, woman, and the kids, and it's like, okay, this is different. So I like it. It's sort of comical, and it helps just clear my mind from a whole bunch of other stuff. So I like this. I like this. Um, great information, all great information, and so true, very helpful as usual. Knowledge gives you confidence, and when you know, you feel comfortable to step out and get to work. That is correct. That is correct. So y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank y'all for everything. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat, Matherin. Thank you for hitting the like button, all of that good stuff. And and I'll be standing by to get your emails for those of you who are interested in just doing a brainstorming session on going full time in this notary business. So y'all have a good evening. Thank you and have a good one. Peace.